too, is just to kind of follow up on that, because I really want to get that pushed through this year if possible.
Okay, I guess if we don't have anything else, I guess any notice of violations that are outstanding right now or open?
There are none open or active right now. We did have another one at Easton Park recently. It was pretty minor, and it got resolved relatively quickly. And we haven't had any other ones come up. The Ivy Farms issue seems to have been resolved for now. I do need to go back and kind of check on that, but I know our engineering technician has been out there when it rained and said that it looked a lot better, just the sediment and the water and everything coming down the road. So just make sure we stay on top of them with that one.
Okay. And I guess now we're at the stormwater report.
Yep. So quick overview for those of you who aren't quite familiar with this. Some of you have been on the committee for a while, so understand a little more about what this is. But essentially, the town of Farragut's covered by basically a stormwater discharge permit by the state. And every year we have to submit an annual report to the state using this main form that they provide. So I've gone through and filled out everything that they've asked for on the first 7 pages. And then as you get farther down, there's a little bit, there are some things that in the report it asks you to, provide additional information or show maps and things like that. I provide a little bit more than what they're asking for, but it kind of helps for them to really be able to review and see what we've been doing and make sure that we're compliant with the permit and what we promised TDEC that we would be doing. So that's a brief overview of what this report is for. So really what I would like from you all is just any feedback that you have on the report. Valerie said she already found a typo. But if there are any questions about the report or any other errors or things you think should be included, this is your time this is the public review period. So if you see anything, let me know, please.
Is it similar to what it was last year, or are there a lot of changes?
No, it's very similar to last year, especially really for the majority of it. I would say the biggest change is that because of, COVID starting in March, there were several events that we had planned to participate in especially for education and outreach that we just weren't able to do. So that kind of reduced some of our numbers, our metrics in that area, but didn't really put us out of compliance at the same time. So I would say one thing that we didn't accomplish that I wish we could have was the staff training. But again, that was something where it was like we hadn't kind of accomplished it come March, and then come March we weren't really sure how to handle getting into groups and everything like that. I know there were several other municipalities that we all got thrown a little curveball there, and I know there are several others that just didn't get stuff done. So I'm just going to have to be creative this year and see what we can do to make sure that we don't miss out on it the second time.
Is there anything in particular that had to be done like during a 3-year cycle that we're sort of behind on now?
I don't think so. I would say the only thing that maybe we're behind on is something we did. So the visual stream assessment that the AmeriCorps member does, where they go and walk all the, sections of the stream, and we aim to get like 20% done per year because we're supposed to assess 100% within a 5-year period. So he did all of that, but somehow our data that he collected on that got accidentally deleted from our ArcGIS. So while we did that work, we don't have the data that goes with it. So we may have to do that again. But I can't really think if there's anything else that we would necessarily be behind on.
Is there anything you anticipate without the AmeriCorps member next year limiting or not being able to do that was on the list of things that sort of we wanted to finish?
I mean, there will definitely be some things that I won't be able to accomplish. And a lot of that's going to be some of the education outreach stuff, which I'll be able to accomplish, I think, what we're required to do per the permit and based on the notice of intent that we submitted 4 years ago. Sometimes we go a little above and beyond with some of the, projects and stuff, the invasive, species removals and the tree plantings and all that. We wrote that in our NOI to be a, we will do it as we are able to do it, but we didn't necessarily promise that we would do it. So it'll be a challenge for some of the other field items, like the dry weather screening, this visual stream assessment, because now we're kind of behind, having lost that data. So in a way, we have 2 years worth of stream assessment to do. We also have to do analytical monitoring this year. So there is a lot that has to be done. We do still have access to an AmeriCorps member through the Water Quality Forum. I happen to be her supervisor. So I do plan on commandeering her on occasion to help with the field work. Because I don't like to send anybody in the field alone. But also it's just nice to have a second person out there. It makes it a little bit more efficient. So we'll just do the best that we can to make sure we accomplish everything that we need to and stay compliant. And if I feel like we're not going to be able to reach that come March or something, then I will probably reach out to TDEC and just give them a heads up and see if there's a problem or what we need to do to kind of move towards the right path.
So I guess if there's not anything else, or if anyone sees anything, I guess email Lori for the report. Any other items? I guess we have business items. I had a question on the outdoor classroom. I hear, a lot of different schools are trying to do outdoor spaces and asking for like picnic tables in general. Has Farragut High School reached out to try to utilize outdoor classroom because I know they have to do the permission slip, but they could have that, done more as a blanket and then walk on down.
I have not yet been contacted by anybody. We're certainly happy to have them out there. But I have not been contacted by them yet. And
Lori, I haven't heard anything. We just had an Education Foundation meeting the other night, and although Principal Bartlett wasn't there, Assistant Principal Lacey Hatfield, I can't remember her last name, was there, and they're all they're in class stuff. They're because they all have to have their computers, and they're really working. Even if they're in class, they all have their computers, so they seem to be working with that. Audrey might know. Audrey, are you virtual or are you in class?
I'm in class.
So how are you guys? Are you guys using your computers? I know everybody's gotten one. So are you using your computers in class?
Yes, we're using our computers in almost every class because we're supposed to limit the amount of paper usage.
Yeah, because we can't afford paper. Isn't that just a wonderful thing? So yeah. So with that, I mean, it's awfully hard when you're out in a it's nice to be able to spread out, but you've still got to have your Wi-Fi and you still got to have a desk to work. And so, yeah, I think they're staying in the schools. They're just trying to be very organized about, I know some teachers are making them do seating charts so that you're around the same people, so you're not exposed. And if you are exposed, it limits it. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the schools. I feel for our students and what they have to go through to just get their education.
Yeah, and some schools never had Chromebooks before, and so that's a whole learning curve for the teachers and everybody. So to go to that, but that's good that they have it. So I was just curious. Does anybody have any other discussion items or?
I know a lot of students are looking for volunteer opportunities right now for certain scholarships and just in general. So if there is anything that the Stormwater Committee needs, because we don't have an AmeriCorps member any longer, I know that a lot of students would be willing to do that.
How many hours do you need for like National Honor Society? Audrey, do you know offhand?
I think you need, it's either 10 or 20, but the majority of those have to be out of club hours.
Okay.
Hard to find.
Okay. So I guess that's one group. They're required, but obviously there's other groups too.
Yeah, and at the outdoor classroom, the riparian buffer area that Clay worked on, removing the invasives and planting the trees and everything, I know that definitely is going to need some maintenance. I was out there, I guess it was last week, with a group of Boy Scouts, and I hadn't had a chance to be out there in a while, and it was really overgrown, so we didn't even walk back in there. And so I know that's something that maybe come fall, that might be something that we need help with. And at least it's outside, we can spread out far and not infect anybody.
Does anybody have anything else? I guess if we don't have anything else, we can confirm our next meeting of October 8th at 3:45. And I guess send any kind of comments for the stormwater report to Lori. I hadn't had a chance to really look at it too much, so I'll take a look. And I think that's about it, unless anybody has anything else.
Lori, when did you want comments by for that stormwater report?
Great question. Let's say by next Wednesday, the 16th. Because it is due to TDEC by the 30th, and I have to get the mayor to sign it before that.
All right.
Okay. Well, if it's nothing else, I think we can adjourn. 1616.
It's like Ed never left.
I know, it's still with us. And well, I think that's about it. So
Thank you. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.